good? All right. Women's basketball team is at Miami Thursday and then home to Eastern on Sunday. I'm guessing you don't. All right, go ahead with questions.
Let's talk a little bit about the Red Hawks, shall we? I mean, it's 4-0, but I would safe to say this is your biggest challenge in the league so far this year.
Sure. This is the second year in a row that I've picked Miami to win it all. I think that coming in, they were clearly the most experienced and veteran and deep and talented team in the East. So it's not a surprise to us or our staff or our players that they're off to a fantastic start. They've got great balance, but led by arguably one of the best players in the league in Courtney Osborne, and obviously just broke the max scoring single game record recently with a 48-point outburst. Just shows how talented she is. So they're big, they can rebound, they get great scores across the board, and as everyone graduated, a bunch of seniors last year, they were one of the young teams, and now it looks, you know, clearly different and experienced than everyone else in the East.
And you've hit a point that they brought nearly everybody back from last year. I mean, is that the reason that they've made this big step forward from last year, or is there more to it than that? You know,
you don't know behind the scenes how everything goes, but with a foreign tour to start off this year, to jumpstart the year with their experience, I clearly believe that it's obvious that their chemistry has really, really improved. Last year's team that I thought was the favorite and the team to beat came in dead last, and they haven't added any different pieces to a team that now it has the best RPI, has the best record in the league, you know, probably has some of the best signature wins in the league, and so, you know, something that you just can't always measure with the naked eye. It just seems that their chemistry is so much better, and then I don't think you can ever undervalue the addition of Mark Elin to their staff, an experienced veteran coach in the MAC that gives them you know, another really, really good coach on the sidelines for them, and you know, we know it just has an unbelievable personality for the players to relate to. So it just looks like that they have, you know, really, really come together this year.
What specifically are they doing
Well,
well?
they score the basketball. You know, they're shooting over 40% for the team, and then as soon as you concentrate on their guard play, then Kirsten Olowinski proves that she is every bit as good as any post player in the league, and is just a double-double machine. And then when you get hung up on just Osborne and Olowinski, then you have all their other players that can step up, like Maggie Boyer has been around forever, it seems like, making threes. So their ability to put 5 players on the floor all the time that can score is impressive. And then you've got to talk about their rebounding and their length defensively that can cause you problems. And I really, really like their man-to-man defense this year. It's disruptive, and they're not trying to fool you and trick you. They're just playing really good man-to-man half-court defense.
If you're looking at one area that's the key to your team's success against them, is there one thing in particular?
Well, I think the number one thing we have to do is keep them off the foul line. They will drive it at you relentlessly. They post you up. They'll get on the offensive glass, and if we can't keep them in all that different activities at the offensive end off the foul line, they're too good of an offensive team. They're going to make shots. They're going to get some putbacks. We're not going to be able to hold them down like some of the teams we have. And if you supplement that with a night at the foul line that they're capable of having, then it could be a really, really long night. So it's not the only goal, but obviously a huge goal for us, if you're trying to pinpoint, would be to keep them off the foul line.
I know you don't have a crystal ball, but looking at their attendance, they've only had one game at home where they've drawn more than 1,000 people, and that was against Iona way back in December. What do you think? Well, first of all, do you think there'll be a good crowd there Thursday night? And second of all, how hard is it for you guys to maybe play in a building that, in such a big building that there's going to be maybe 800 people there?
You know, first off, it's you know, I hope that we get a good crowd. Both teams deserve a great crowd. This Miami team deserves to be followed, and I think it'll be a bigger crowd than they've had been, other than their school kids game that drew a lot. With that said, this game is so big for both teams to end the first round of MAC East play with a one-game lead for one of the two of us. I don't think, like some venues, that the crowd, large or small, will be a big deal to our team this year. I think both teams will be very, very intense from the beginning, very, very focused. I think that I'm already worried that we're too hyped up for this game in the beginning compared to some, and that we'll have to take a deep breath and you know, keep it simple and do things that we do every day, and not try to do things that we're not capable of doing, or out of our strengths and our packages that we want to do. But so I don't think the crowd will be a big factor for us one way or the other. But on a personal note, I think it would be fantastic if there was a great crowd there, because both teams deserve it, and certainly Miami deserves a following with this year's team.
How does BG match up, and who might be on Osborne to start this thing?
Well, again, they're a really big lineup, and with the starting lineup that we've played recently, it would be natural to put Jess Slagle on there, but I don't think you can let someone guard Courtney Osborne for 40 minutes. She's too good. She'll figure out you know, how to attack that defender. So I think we got to keep fresh bodies on her. I think we got to give her different looks, where some people might be able to get up in her, some people might be longer on her. So we try to keep her off balance. We've done a great job through the years. We haven't always shut her down, but we've made her take a lot of shots to get her points, and I think that's still the key. If you make Courtney have to get a lot of reps to get her points, because she's going to get points, and so you know, that's the best you can ask for.
Curt, would you agree or disagree with this thought? And I'm looking ahead to the MAC tournament right now. It looks like, you know, you want to be in the top two to get that advance to the semifinals. Your second best would be to get in the top four, so you at least are in the quarterfinals. It looks like right now there are 5 teams that have kind of stepped apart from the crowd to get into that 4. I mean, do you look at that as staff at all? How does that fit into your figuring and preparing for games in the rest of the season?
When it came into the year, I would have predicted 7 or 8 teams fighting for that, right. And that's what's on my mind. Honestly, the West is beating up on each other so much. If you asked me to tell you their records right now, I probably would get it all wrong. And so when you say 5, I can't even figure out what 5 you're talking about. But I do believe that with the new format, there's such a big difference between one of the top 4 seeds than the 5th seed. You know, there's a lot of people with the mindset that 3 and 4 is a great place to be, because you're not off as long. You get to play an early round game, and maybe that's not a bad thing. But I know we're all talking about, if you are 5 through 12, you got to win 5 games in a row. And I know if anyone's in that situation, we're all going to preach UConn men's basketball from last year. But I don't think any of us desire to be 5 through 12. And so, as important as 1 and 2 are, and how great that would be to continue to, you know, be the regular season champion, you really are fighting to stay out of that 5 hole, you know, because last year Eastern went to the championship as the 5 seed. It's harder to believe a team can do that with the new format, to win 5 games or to win 4 games to get to that championship. So it's going to be a dogfight and a scramble, you know, to stay in that top 4, and that's where everyone is. I'm still in the mindset that coming into the year, I thought there was 8 teams that had a chance to be in the top 4. that will continue to play out. I think people will get hot, and I think people will continue to beat up on each other, especially teams that can steal wins on the road are going to put themselves in position to get those top 4 seeds.
You like the new format?
I understand the format. I like the format in terms that it's rewarding the regular season champion. It's trying to protect your top seeds. Do I believe in the long run that it gives us an opportunity to get 2 in any more than the old format? I have a hard time believing it. But I do believe that the conference is committed to rewarding the regular season champions, and in this case, the format does do that. When we've won 5 out of the last 7 and know that we had to win 3 games to do it, and now you think that a team just got to win 2, it's different, So if you're a 1 and 2 seed, you love it. If you're not the 1 and 2 seed, I'm not sure you love the new format, but we respect it and we understand it because it is rewarding a body of work.
The decision to make the change, was that athletic directors, the council of presidents, the conference office? Did the coaches have any input?
There's lots of people that had input. Ultimately, I'm not positive on who the final vote or who cast that, if it was the president, if it was the ADs, if it was the conference commissioner that obviously made the executive decision. I'm not sure how that all played out, but we definitely were vetted for lots of information and talked about it.
Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.